So if you haven't checked out my channel in the past few years, or you're new to this channel, basically I was all dedicated to player growth tests where I'd take a look at players' growth without training, and I had a good idea of the fact that basically with also training caps, if you take training into effect, and the algorithm of growth for each position, pretty much all players would end up being the same. You take example like a 16-year-old striker with high potential, pretty much every other young 16-year-old striker would grow exactly the same and feel the same in game almost. Of course, different factors come into effect like height and stuff like that, but for the most part, they would feel exactly the same, and it was really quite boring, honestly, because of that. But thankfully, FIFA 20 dynamic potential came into effect, which helped kind of change things for some players as far as being able to develop players and improve their potential thanks to good performances. But also, dev plans this year really changed the game as well, and players just feel a lot different. And thanks to that and those two factors, dynamic potential as well as dev plans, you'll see players like this developing. Cameron Dunbar, 17-year-old striker. He's just 54 overall at the start. And you can see kind of his stats. I put him on a poacher dev plan. He's pretty pacey at the start, but his shooting is pretty terrible. Dribbling is okay. I mean, he's high agility already, so that's nice to see. And we got to improve that work rate, so we put him on that poacher also, the high work rate we've given him as well. So in that end of that first season, he ended up having a goal output of 7 goals in 34 matches and 2 assists. Considering the fact that he's 17, that's a pretty good season for. He's basically a debutant in the squad. I probably said that terribly, but it was his first year in the squad. 17 years old, obviously, and he had a decent season, so you would expect to see a potential growth, I think, in that aspect, and he did end up showing great potential, which is a potential of 80 to 84 now. So he went from 75 potential to 80 to 84 potential in just one season. So you see this status change at the start of the next season. It's not going to be at the end of the season, just so you guys know. So this is the end. This is the start of the second season, not the end of the first season, where I was able to see this status change. So he grew 6 points in a season, which is pretty good. Obviously, training is different as well because it's group training, so it's not going to have the same like overpowering effect, especially on youngsters. But players grow fairly well nonetheless, as long as they're getting play time. They're in good form. They're happy with their contract, stuff like that. They'll grow very well. And the end of the second season, he had an amazing season in general. 26 goals, 12 assists. So he had 38 goal contributions in 37 matches. So that is incredible for who was now an 18-year-old turning 19 to have an output like that. That's incredible. As you can see, like he just completely was the best player on the squad because of that. So now that is where I think it's a little maybe too overpowered, because he's still in MLS. It's obviously not an amazing league, but he's 18 years old, and now he has potential to be special, which is 90 plus potential. So in 2 seasons, I mean, this is technically the end of the third season where you can see his new status, which has potential to be special, which is 90 plus potential. So that's pretty amazing. Just in 2 seasons, thanks to this whole, dynamic potential. My mind goes blank sometimes. I'm getting old. But just in 2 seasons, he went from a 75 potential to 90 plus. So 15 plus potential in 2 seasons thanks to some decent performances in MLS. So you take into effect like him possibly playing in a league like you're doing a road to glory in the lower leagues of England or third division of Germany. You take a player like this on whether it's on the team or maybe you bring in like another like lower potential player, and you could turn him into a star essentially. And that is what is fun about career mode now. I think the gameplay is utter garbage in career mode. Like it's not very fun, but developing players is a really cool thing to do with dev plans, and of course getting dynamic potential come into effect. So really, that's why I actually have an interesting career mode plan that I hope to start by the new year, which would be a failed Wonder Kids Road to Glory, which I'm going to take kind of these Wonder Kids who never really got past like the level of 72 overall, start them out in the third division, I think Germany, and we're gonna move on from there and see how they perform. But just make sure you guys also like don't forget to change development plans, because he ended up with high medium, just 2-star weak foot, and literally he can't pass. His dribbling is not the best either, because I had him on poacher plan for 4 seasons, so Yeah, he can finish, obviously. 98 finishing. His tack position is incredible. Has a great shot power as well. And, of course, his sprint speed is 99. But make sure you change dev plans. Don't make the same mistake I did, because he couldn't really pass. But, obviously, finishing, no problem. Weak foot, though, a problem for sure. So make sure you guys do not forget to change up dev plans consistently so that doesn't happen to you guys. But with that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to showcase how dynamic potential is really useful this year, and can really make things more fun for you guys developing players. Because really, for me, that's why I got so bored of FIFA. Like, every player ends up the same, was ending up the same in previous FIFAs. The potentials are pretty set until last season, but I think this season really put it over the top with the help with the just the fun development players with these dev plans, having the fact that you can have players not feel the same as everyone else. Like that's very nice, because that was really boring. That's why, like, when I would do growth tests, I would stop like doing gameplay, because essentially you take one young player at a camp, like especially Cam was the main thing. You take like one 16-year-old short Cam, literally everyone's gonna feel like him at the end. So it was, it's just boring. It's just really boring. With that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have some other dynamic potential type of tips videos for you coming up as well, showcasing older players. So that's gonna be the next one coming up. Should be coming up tomorrow, the day after. With that, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Please hit that like button. I love you. I'll be signing out now, and I'll catch you guys later.